It's like the ants took a road cone. Hi, it's your favorite warehouse weirdo here, Sarah, with another car review. Today I'm reviewing this guy. It's a 2020 Kia Telluride. Really excited to review this thing. When they dropped it off, I was kind of blown away how good these actually look in person. But I could sit here and talk about how great it is, but you won't really know until you ride one. Get it? Is it silent on the other end of the camera as it is in here right now? I thought that was funny. The number one thing that stands out about these vehicles when you see them coming down the road is the daytime running lights and the fact that they're amber. And at nighttime, when the headlights are turned on, you have these two square LED beams in the center of them. The fog lights follow through with the same design trend of the square lenses for the LEDs, and there's 4 of them instead of 2 like the headlights, but there's 4 headlights in total. Wait, math. The tips are square, just like the LED shapes up front. They tied it in by smart. And then the taillights on this thing, this is one of the best looking asses in its class. It almost has a vibe of a 6-figure high-end ultra luxury crossover because of the shape of the taillight. I don't know what it looks like. It looks like a Kia. It's its own thing and it's beautiful. If you guys haven't seen one of my car reviews before and you're new to my channel, hi. But as far as the interior goes, I'm gonna keep things short and sweet and to the point because we're all capable of going on Google and researching capacities and data and random crap about the interior of this vehicle. I'm gonna tell you my observations from physically sitting in here right now and what stands out to me. And then we'll nerd out under the hood. That's different. I can talk about stuff under the hood all day long, but when it comes to like how the steering wheel feels when I squeeze it, it actually feels pretty good. Feels like when you're shopping for an avocado and you're like trying to get the right one, because avocados are so hard to shop for. This is like when you grab one, you're like, ooh, that's a little bit too firm. I'm talking about a steering wheel. Sorry. The first thing that popped out to me when I started driving this Telluride is the font they use in all the buttons, and I know this is kind of weird, but it stood out to me. It's a cute font, especially when it's illuminated at night. I don't know what the name of this font is, but I like it. The headliner in here is suede and it's not black. It is that light gray tan color that you see in a lot of vehicles for headliners. I'm more of a fan of black headliners, but this material is soft. It feels like a baby kitten. Nice. I love how the infotainment screen is broken up into 3 little segments. It's got wireless charging if you got a cell phone that has wireless charging. I don't, so I need a new cell phone. It has a Harman Kardon sound system. I get that confused too often. Harman Kardon sound system that is banging. It sounds good. The seat's really comfy too. And it's ventilated and heated. And it's got a nice pattern and texture to it. It's got good bolstering too for being a crossover. This isn't a performance vehicle, but it's a pretty comfortable seat. The 2 front seats have USB plugs on the side with a little loop to hold the cord for your smartphone and a pocket in the back of it for the 2 people sitting in the middle captain's chairs to stow their smartphones in the back of these 2 front seats. That is smart. That's so smart. The center console has 2 built-in handles, which usually is not a good sign if the driver has an handle, because if your driver is grabbing onto that, then you as the passenger should be significantly worried about your safety. Center console will house 1 fat short penguin, or probably 2 penguins on a diet. It's good size for the size of the vehicle. Oh God, the building's gonna fall on us. Okay, let's drive it. We're out in cow country.
Moo! Oh, look, that one's looking at us.
Yeah, hi cows. There's lots of cows over there. Some of them are lazy, they're laying down. Anyway, this is a dirt road. It's very scenic, and we're gonna test out this thing's off-road capability. Now, because it has 20-inch wheels and tires, I'm gonna be limited in what I can do because I don't want to ruin one of these wheels.
Can nobody tell me nothing?
This thing has so many different views for the camera system. There's front view, there's the rear view, there's the 360 bird's eye view, and when you turn on your blinkers, or your right blinker, there is a camera in the mirror that shows you what is gonna be in basically the same view plane as what the mirror should be showing you, but it's way better than a mirror. My only complaint with the Telluride over the past week I've been driving this thing is down in the center you have your knob to adjust your drive modes. Now it has a smart setting, a sport mode, a comfort, eco, and snow. All the modes individually have a distinct difference between them. You can actually feel the driving change while you're driving the vehicle. But the smart mode, I found it to be really confused most of the time and kind of like, wait, what do I do? You want to go fast? Oh, no, you want to go comfort? And like you can feel it in the throttle too. Sometimes the throttle is very delayed and jerks around like me acting like a robot. It's really awkward. That's the only complaint I've had so far driving this thing. Hi, and welcome to Garage Science with Sarah. That was so cheesy. So powering the Telluride is a Lambda 2 3.8 liter V6, puts out 291 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 262 pound-feet of torque at 5,200 RPMs. It's kind of a screamer though, 5,200 RPM for the peak torque. It's kind of an engine you would see more in like a sports car than you would in a CUV, but I'll have to say this, it doesn't feel underpowered, it doesn't feel overpowered, it feels just right. It's adequate power level. Could it use more power? Hell yeah, this thing could use more power. Everything could use more power. There we go. With the engine cover off, take note at the intake plenum's position. It actually rolls over on top of the rear bank of cylinders. The rear cylinder head is right here. So to access all this rear cylinder, you'd have to just take off your intake plenum, which is plastic. And there's tons of access everywhere else around the engine. It doesn't look like this would be a very hard vehicle to work on, and I respect that. It's time to give it the beans on dirt. So, I am going to lock the center diff. I'm going to put the drive mode into sport. I'm going to disable traction control and I'm gonna leave it in auto. I'm not gonna move it over to the left because there's no paddle shifters and I just feel that's pointless to even have a manual mode if you don't have paddle shifters. Like that's just it's not a sequential race transmission, so it just feels weird doing that. So leave it as is. I'll give it a little assistance on the dirt here and we'll see how it does. So ready? Go. Okay. It just grips and goes. It accelerates on dirt like it accelerates on pavement.
Did you see that vulture?
I did. The vulture was he was impressed too. He was just like, that thing grips and goes. Two science Sarahs. One car view. What's more impressive about the Telluride is its all-wheel drive system. And in this video, I am not doing this thing justice when it comes to off-road capabilities. If it had different wheels and tires on it, I'm telling you, this thing would be a beast off-road. Now it does have a center differential that is lockable. It'll split 50-50 power to the front and rear, and it utilizes the traction control system and torque vectoring to mimic lockers in the front and the back because technology, it's a 2020. Try like going up this corner right here. I would like to see what the thing is capable of if it had maybe a 17 or 18-inch wheel with a more aggressive tire. Because the one thing that does stand out about this compared to a lot of other vehicles in this segment I've reviewed is a lot of them do feel front-wheel drive biased, with the exception of the Subaru Forester, which is slightly smaller than this. It would be the Ascent that would be its competitor. But all the other competitors I've driven feel like they're front-wheel drive biased when you're driving them on the road, especially from low speed and you get on it, you can just feel the front wheels clawing along. This thing feels very balanced, like true all-wheel drive. You can't even tell if it's front-wheel biased or rear-wheel biased driving it. And again, off-road right now, I feel the same thing. I don't really feel a bias anywhere. It's just doing a good job at putting the power down. I'm hoping to do a review on the 2020 Stinger GTS, and that one has a twin turbo V6 in it, and I wish they could stick that power plant into this thing and make kind of like an ultra luxury version of this, because it's already super luxury on the inside. I would love to see that. Leave in the comment section below if you'd like to see this Stinger GT engine in one of these. I was gonna do a little thing and test out the picnic ability right here, but there's giant, what is that? That thing was the size of a ham sandwich and it just flew by, and it's got a stinger. We're not filming here. We'll move on. We'll do it a little bit later. Dude, there's so many giant insects.
I would just drive around, but I would obey the laws of driving within the game. Like I would stop at the...
Yeah, I used to stop at all the stoplights and
Yeah.
I always did that in Grand Theft Auto.
The only bad thing I would ever do is like wait at an ATM machine and just beat someone up and take their money.
I never did that. I did the missions and made money.
Oh.
All right, braking test. Ready? There's nobody behind us. I don't know why there would be, other maybe cows and bugs. Go. That was very drama-free.
That was great.
That was weird.
Yeah, like I didn't even feel like we were braking that hard. That was cool.
That was the weirdest braking test I've ever done before.
Wow.
This thing is so smooth. It's just crazy how smooth this is. Oh my God. And then there's buttons over there for the second row. Kyla will move those.
I hope you saw that. That was pretty cool.
I do a very bad job at moving out of the way when I'm supposed to. So you got vents, map lights for reading, moonroof to look out at the stars, USB charge port because you're not even going to be looking at the stars, you're going to be looking at your phone on Instagram. That's what I'd be doing. This thing reminds me of one of those Craftmatic adjustable beds when you fold the second row, because if you don't take the headrests off, it kind of stops at an angle and it makes it really comfortable to lay back here. So I actually like that. And as far as capacity goes, if you're a person that has a track car, say you have like a Miata, it's a small lightweight track car, and with a trailer, this thing will tow 5,000 pounds. You could probably squeak underneath there. And then you'll have room in here for anywhere from 4 to 6 wheels and tire. What is that on the ground down there? That looks like it's like the ants took a road cone. So, if you guys have never seen one of my off-road reviews before, I do what is called the meatball score, as a rating of 1 to 5 meatballs based on a vehicle's ability to tackle obstacles off-road that look like meatballs. And the 2020 Kia Telluride is going to get a rating of 1 coconut. I can't give this thing a meatball rating because we didn't really do anything that difficult off-road because of the fact this SX model does have these black 20-inch wheels. And while I'm sure it could be capable if I didn't care about damaging one of these wheels, I just don't want to do that because they're pretty, and I'm OCD when it comes to detailing vehicles and keeping them nice, and I would like to keep getting press cars, so I don't want to break one off-road.
Just chilling. My coconut.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you next week with another. Bye!
For sure.
It stinks like alcohol, doesn't it?
Yeah, actually, it kind of does.
I think someone was out here drinking some moonshine out of that coconut. Or someone peed in it.
Not again.